With a new TMNT movie on the way, there of course has to be a new cast of TMNT. Now with that being said, today I'm going to be going over my fan cast for who I'd like to see in a TMNT project, or even this specific TMNT movie. But before we do get into that one, please let me know in the comment section below who you'd like to see play a certain character in the TMNT franchise.
Make the plan, execute the plan, expect the plan to go off the rails, throw away the plan.
Okay, so starting off the list, I wanted to go with Leonardo, and the person who I wanted to go with is Wentworth Miller. Now, I do think he would be a perfect choice for a Leonardo type character, not specifically from Mutant Mayhem, just because I know they want to go in more teenager route, but I still feel as though Wentworth Miller would make a really good Leonardo. Now, the reason why I put him as a Leonardo type character is just because of what his previous roles he's played as. Now, the reason why I think Wentworth Miller will be an amazing choice for Leonardo is just because of the previous roles he's played as in the past 20 years. Now, some of the roles which do show him off as a really good Leo type character is Prison Break, as well as the Arrowverse. Now, in the Arrowverse he played Captain Cold, and he was this criminal, and he always knew how to break into stuff. He knew everything about the plan, how to do it, how to pull the heist off, and it was amazing. In Prison Break, he knew how to break his brother out and try to basically do all that type of stuff. Now, I do think that with this type of energy and bringing this type of thing towards Leonardo's type character, I do think you have a really interesting character with him always knowing what's going to happen and how to prevent bad things from happening and how to make every mission successful. Now, the only problem with Wentworth Miller right now is the fact that he doesn't want to play any straight characters right now. So I guess the only way to get around this is by making Leonardo part of the LGBTQ+ community, which, if you're getting Wentworth Miller to play the role, then I feel like sacrifices can be made for this.
Stop it! Stop hiding behind your daughters! They would be ashamed of what you're doing right now! Part of me has always wanted you to see what kind of man I really am.
Okay, so for Raphael, I went with Stephen Amell. Now, for this list, I tried to go with actors who have not played these type of characters before. Now, while Stephen Amell has played Casey Jones in the Outshadows TMNT movie, I do feel as though this is a big exception. Now, I feel as though Stephen Amell would make a really good Raphael, and the reason for it is just because of the way that he can portray his normal side and his angry side. This is something which I don't really feel as though has been explored and has been used properly throughout the TMNT franchise, and normally comes off as just Raphael just being normal, and then just sometimes he might shout or just punch Mikey or something like that. But with Stephen Amell, when he gets angry, he shouts and it is amazing. And you can definitely tell that there's a clear difference between his normal side for him, as well as his angry side. And I feel like bringing that along with his character would be rather interesting to see how far they can really go with things.
I once assembled something similar on the planet Neuron, which orbits a black hole. So, talk about dark. This shouldn't be a problem.
Okay, next up is Donatello, and the person who I want to play Donatello is Jess Rath. And oh my god, Jess Rath is honestly the perfect choice for Donatello for any version of TMNT. Now, the reason why I want him to play Donatello is just because of his role on Supergirl, where he played Brainiac 5, who's a nerd from the future, and with the way that he portrays him in Supergirl, it really does give me a lot of Donatello vibes, and he honestly is just a perfect choice for Donatello. Doesn't matter what version it is, he is the perfect choice, and no matter what, we need to get him as a Donatello type character. He is the perfect role, or perfect person for Donatello. We need him for Donatello. Just trust me on it. He is perfect for the role.
Let's see if they keep their secrets downstairs.
Okay, next up is Mikey, and the person I went with is Najee Jester. I'm not too sure if I said the name right, so if I did say it wrong, then sorry. But the reason why I went with this choice for Mikey is just because of his role as Miles Morales in the Spider-Man PS4 game. Now, I do feel as though that if you can have a really good Miles Morales energy and really have a really good character, I do feel as though you can bring that energy over to Mikey and more or less just play the same type of character in a way. And I do feel as though that the voice that he did do for Miles Morales in those games was just a really good Mikey voice. And I do feel as though people were more or less comparing to Greg Sipes for the 2012 Mikey voice, as well as Brandon Michael Smith from the Rise of TMNT. And I do feel as though people are really going to like that type of voice. And I do think that this will be like a really good, interesting character or voice for the character. And I do think that it really depends on where they want to take the character, and as well as the like what version of tell or like how they want to set up this universe. And I do feel as though he could more or less portray the Mikey that they need. Yeah.
Whoa, this looks amazing! Last time I was here, it was a ghost town.
Okay, next up is April, and the person who I went with is Tara Strong. Now, the reason for this is just because I don't really know what type of character they're going for with April. I don't know if they're going for a teen, an adult, or something like that. Just because every version of April is just so different in every way possible. From the job, the appearance, the personality. There's just so many things different about each version, which is like very unique and really cool to see throughout every version of TMNT. But with that being said, you're just not too sure what to expect for like an April type character. But with that being said, I do feel as though that Tara Strong will make a really good April, and the reason for this is just because she's worked on so many amazing projects, from Teen Titans, Ben 10, My Little Pony, what other ones, Loki. She's done so many stuff which I'm not even mentioning because there's just too many to name. There's just so many great things that she's worked on, and the amount of voices that she's been able to do from all these different type of characters, it's just really impressive what ones she's been able to do. And I do feel as though that having her on for April, and I do feel as though you can more or less do anything with her character, and Tara Strong could just pull it off naturally and perfectly.
Look, I wasn't sure what everyone liked, so I brought an assortment. I've got look, I'm new to the area, but it seems like you picked a pretty busy intersection for that. I'm not sure where you'd set a chopper.
Okay, so for Casey Jones, it's a weird one. Now, I would say that this one more or less works more for a live action version of TMNT. Now, the person who I went with is Clayne Crawford. Now, the reason why I went with this actor is just because of his role in Lethal Weapon, and in that show he was just amazing. He is one of the best actors we will ever get, and with that craziness, I would like to see that be brought over to TMNT. Now, Casey Jones, he is sort of a wild character, just a little weird and crazy and stupid stuff, which is what Clayne Crawford was doing beforehand in Lethal Weapon. Now, I don't think he can more or less pull off the looks for a live action version, but I do think that if we were to give him a chance to do the more crazy aspect, I do feel as though that the looks will more or less wear off on me, and I'll just love it no matter what. Now, if we're talking about a voice acting type situation, then I feel as though it may be a little bit weird, but I do think that because it's Clayne Crawford, I'll just get used to it, and, you know, it's Clayne Crawford. We need to have him in the TMNT at one point or another. He is a perfect choice to have in TMNT. I mean, the thing is, I don't even care if he plays Casey Jones or not. I just want him in TMNT.
That you needed to be the Green Arrow. That it completed you.
Okay, so for the Splinter role, I went with David Ramsey. Now, the reason why I went with this is just because I love what they did with the TMNT 2012 Splinter and who they got to voice with him, which is Hoon Lee. I liked it with his voice. It was just so impactful, I'd say, and made every speech that he said was so emotionally impactful, and I wanted to listen to it no matter what, and it was just perfect for Splinter. Now, while I don't think we'll ever get a better Splinter voice for Splinter than Hoon Lee, I do think that David Ramsey could more or less pull off that type of character in a way. Now, his role in Arrow, I would say, is more or less the reason why I'm putting it on here, and I do think that he has a certain type of feel with his voice, where you do want to listen to everything that he says, and that everything that he does say, it does have like an emotional impact on you in some way, and I do think that the way that he says it is also really interesting. But I do think that it will be a more wait and see type situation, just because I feel as though with Splinter you need to have that perfect voice, and David Ramsey, I do feel as though he does have a really good voice for a Splinter type character, but you know, there could be other better ones out there.
I keep my promises, kid. I keep my promises. I keep my promises.
Okay, so for the Shredder role, I went with Manu Bet. Now the reason why I'm putting him on this list is because of his role in Arrow where he played Deathstroke, and it was amazing. To the point where I would even say perfect. And I'd definitely like to see his type of character as well as his type of voice be portrayed as Shredder. And I do think that you could definitely have this really interesting version of Shredder. Now, like with Splinter, I do definitely think that the 2012 version of Shredder is arguably the best version of Shredder just because of his voice. Michael Kevin Richardson did an amazing Shredder voice, to the point where I don't think you'll ever get a better Shredder voice. He is the Shredder voice, I would say. And to more or less compare him to anyone else is sort, I don't know, you just can't find another Michael Kevin Richardson for Shredder. And I feel as though Manu Bet might be the closest thing we could get to another good version of Shredder. And when I was thinking of the Shredder voice and Shredder actor, my one thought always goes to like a very deep voice. Just because I feel as though 2012 Shredder, he definitely had a way of basically commanding the scene. Because 2012 Shredder definitely had a way of basically having a big impact on the show. Even just from just walking into a room, you knew it was an oh shit moment. And I do feel as though that you could definitely bring that type of the aspects of the character with Manu Bet. Let me know in the comment section below who you'd like to see play a certain TMNT character, as I'm pretty sure there are so many other good choices to play these TMNT characters. But yeah, that's gonna be it for today guys. If you do like something, please share, like, subscribe and all that stuff. Goodbye, yo. Bye.